I love that we're
Oh,
recording. Hey, everybody. This is the where are we? What are we called? The owner's
the owner's
box.
box.
Yeah, what a great show.
Why are my face and my hands two different colors? That is weird.
That is weird. Founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club, joining me alongside, as always, is the great Michelle Yu. I had something really funny to tell you. Oh, we had another fan.
Yay!
Yeah, I was in the paddock at Santa Anita over the weekend, and this guy just walks up to me, and he's like, "Hey, love the pod." And I'm like,
I
"Are you
love it.
serious? Like, what is happening?"
I do get people when we don't do a show. They're like, "Why don't you just do it during low sal?" And I'm like, "Because we need breaks in our lives." So, like, that's why. But I
We
do get a
need
lot of
break.
people that ask me, like, we missed your show. Can you like put up
I like that.
replays?" I'm
We
like,
need
I don't
breaks
know how that
in
works.
we need breaks in our lives.
We
Yeah,
do.
we do need breaks. I feel so refreshed. That Delmar into the sale. I obviously, we talked about it. I went to the Emmys, flew back to Kentucky, finally got home, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I went to a gym yesterday. You're supposed to comment on that.
I could tell.
No, not like that. Not one
Oh
day.
no, not what? Okay.
Uh,
What am I
I,
supposed to say about you going to the gym? Good job.
Yeah, just like finally, I like started
What do
working
you mean
out again.
finally? You
Well,
look
I feel like
great.
I
I
think
saw
I'm
you
gonna.
the other day and you look good. So
Thank you.
I
I think I'm just a little grounded right now, where like I'm finally home for like a chunk of time, and it's very satisfying. And tomorrow, I couldn't sleep in today. I didn't sleep in the other day, but tomorrow I actually get to sleep in. So I think I'll sleep till like 7.
how late is sleeping?
If I sleep till like 7 or 7:30, it's amazing.
Yeah. That's so Sundays is our sleep in day and we usually are up at like 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still get up early so I can go do my morning walk.
Oh, that's nice. Do you do that by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you have your
Mhm.
headphones in, or do you just walk and think?
No, I have headphones in. I listen to books on tape.
Oh, what's the latest book?
Oh, I'm listening to one called Circle of Days. I love Ken Follett. He writes historical fiction.
That's amazing.
It's so
Like,
good. It just came
I
out.
love the little known facts that come across on this show.
But if you see me like power walking, then I'm not
Yeah,
listening to music. I'm literally listening to historical fiction books.
there's a great show on HBO Max right now. It's called Task. It's their like Sunday night show. It's really
Okay.
good.
What's it
Very
about?
dark, but it's good. Very well done. Anyway, we're not here to talk about HBO. We're here to talk about horse racing. We have a special guest. Kieran Thornton is going to join us. Michelle has been asking me to bring on a Gold Phoenix owner. Don't call him Old Phoenix. Call him
He's Platinum Phoenix.
Platinum Phoenix now. That's his new name. After his big win in the John Henry over the weekend, which was only surprising in the fact that he hadn't won in his
That race.
previous 3 years. He obviously likes, even though he won the Grade One Kilrow at Santa Anita, he kind of prefers Del Mar to Santa Anita.
Well, I always feel
Well,
like it was a distance thing because even though he won the kill row, I still feel like he
yeah,
likes those longer distances,
yeah.
and the mile and a quarter just doesn't kind of get it going for him. But
Which was so surprising. And like, if you look at the figures, he was kind of dominant, other than Stay
yeah,
Hot. And they actually made Stay Hot the favorite. So, but just the way he won was really impressive. And I think that going into the Breeders' Cup turf, I mean, he only has to beat horses like Rebel Romance, who's already won twice, and he earned 106 Buyer speed figure in the big race, and the Joe Hirsch
the Joe
in New
Hurd,
York,
yeah.
which was insane. If you watch that race, I'm not only a Michelle Yu fanboy, I'm a Rebel Romance fanboy. So I think I've told the story before. I was standing next to Charles Appleby last year in the Breeders' Cup, and Gold Phoenix walked in, and then Rebels Romance walked in, and I looked at Charles Appleby and I went, "Seriously?" And he just started laughing.
He's so cool, old Black
he,
Beauty.
yeah, he is awesome. So, but it's going to be a fun day. I think we went from 30-1 to 19-1 in the. I haven't really looked at odds. I'm just saying in general.
What will you do if Gold Phoenix wins the Breeders' Cup?
I'd probably die. Just
I'm
like
serious. Like, are you gonna have a heart attack?
I might. Who knows? I don't know. I think it'd be insane. It would be complete insanity. It would just be insane. Here's the thing. I I don't know which Europeans are coming yet. I don't think any of us really know. But obviously Rebels Romance will be there,
Yeah.
and the horses that finish right behind. Oh, I don't know if the one that Pratt rode for Chad Brown is coming, redistricting. But it will be interesting. The Euros will always have the edge, but I just feel like in the US, there's no dominant force this year like in years past. Not that,
Not for the
I mean,
turf. I feel like we just focus more on our milers, though, that the problem
right.
is when you look at our turf horses, if they're not a good horse on the East Coast, then out here, it's those same 5 or
Yeah,
6 just knock heads,
right.
and, we don't end up with a front runner. But having
Yeah.
Gold Phoenix win 2 in a row like that.
I don't think he's won 2 in a row since 2 years ago when he won the 2 races at Del Mar. He won the Eddie Reed
Amazing.
and the Del Mar Handicap 2, I think it was 2 years ago. But he doesn't win 2 and he doesn't usually win by, like, 2 lengths.
Yeah, open lengths.
Yeah, and he was, like, rolling. I mean, they
Yeah.
could have gone around 5 more times. So it was really fun. It was a great day for all the partners, and it was just awesome. It was just someone asked me, like, what is he like? And I said, "Oh, they call him Clifford the Big Red Dog around the barn. Like, he is
We
just the
trick or
sweetest
treated with
horse."
him at the Breeders' Cup before.
Yeah, that's right. He just is sweet. He just does he's got his little jolly ball, and then he comes up to you and he'll let you pet him and give him some carrots, and you'll be his best friend. So, um, I said to Phil D'Amato, who's done an excellent job, by the way, with Gold Phoenix, I give him credit. And Umberto Raspoli's ride was sick. But I felt like someone asked me, like, what's going on, or how that's amazing to have a horse. I said, I just wish they were all like him. Like, it's you wish you see this horse, and I understand so much when people have that one, dream horse.
Mhm.
Not that he won the Kentucky Derby or anything like that, but just a horse that at the
So
age of
consistent.
7
Yeah.
is still going and has a chance in basically every race he runs in. It's just like it's so fun, and it's this game is a complete roller coaster. I'll tell you a funny story. I had a client in the paddock before the last race on Sunday, which of course you blew because you picked the Mark Glad. I saw you. Don't think I don't look at your picks, Michelle. And so,
You know
and
why? Can I tell you why real quick, though?
I know you can tell me in a second. Let me
Okay.
finish this because so this guy, he's a really sweet guy, older guy, and his wife was there, and his son was there. And it's very difficult sometimes in syndicates, and maybe you get this too as the wife of a trainer. If you start winning races, but the horses that they're not in aren't winning,
Mhm.
they get frustrated. And I get it. Like, I totally understand it. And he looked at me, he goes, and he said with a straight face, like, when are our horses going to start winning some races? And I took a deep breath and I said, I told him, I said, Bud, I said, this is a cyclical game. I promise you that your horses starting right now, and this was Slick. I said, "You're watch this." And then Slick went out and win, and he came up to me in the winner's circle. He goes, "Okay, that was fun." So, but it is difficult because at Little Red Feather, we're really a family, and Kieran can tell you about this. And I think a lot of our partners kind of almost, even though they're not invested in one of the horses with
Mhm.
money, they're still vested as our family and as our group. And I think that's really just the style that we've created. But when there are certain investors and certain horses that just have been unlucky or didn't win, it does suck. And I don't even know how to handle it. I don't even know what to say. So anyway,
I
that's
wanna
my
hear that.
soapbox Billy
Speaking of
personal.
Kieran, he's
Oh,
he's here now.
all right, bring him on.
I'm gonna bring him on.
All
You gonna
right.
give him a great intro?
Yeah. Kieran, the California
How's it
bred
going?
man. What's going on,
Yep.
bro?
How you doing?
I feel like I've spent a lot of time with you lately.
Yeah, well, that's always a good sign. It means our horses are winning.
It means you're not complaining.
Yes, exactly. But
Are
I
you
know
a big
exactly what you were
complainer?
saying. I know how those guys feel, and I remember you
Yeah.
telling me that with Gold Phoenix, you were like, "Patience, Del Mar. When Del Mar rolls around, we're gonna swoop in and win everything."
But it is hard, and I imagine, as a person who invests in partnerships, and everybody should know Kieran is part of our partnership. I'm sure he might have others. I don't even know if he does or not. He does this really cool new daily double show that we can talk about in a little bit. That I really like. He's an excellent handicapper. If you've seen Kieran around, he's very well spoken. But it is interesting. in a partnership. Now you have Gold Phoenix. If you didn't have Gold Phoenix, you had 3 others that kind of weren't running, and you see the little red feather horses kind of winning. Like, it does get a little frustrating, right? I'm here for it. I understand.
Oh, I mean, I've had a couple with you guys, and you get in from the jump. I mean, it was funny when we were in the winner's circle on Saturday. I was telling some guys, I was like, Neil was there, and it was great meeting him. And I was like, well, you're probably going to love this story because Gold Phoenix was the very first horse I ever bought into.
Whoa.
Look at the Irish, as they say.
But that's awesome.
I mean, I've been handicapping. I've been doing the horses since I was running my dad's bets in Ireland. So I've always been involved in doing the handicapping side. And I thought it was time to jump in with the ownership. And I looked for a long time, and there was a lot of positive talk about Little Red Feather and Billy and those guys. So I remember calling him up, and I was like, he goes, what do you want? I go, well, I grew up in Ireland, not too far from Dundalk Racetrack. I'm all about the turf horses, and I want to go to big race days. You know, I don't want claimers, you know, I want to learn the other side of the business because I think it'll help with my handicapping as well. And he goes, well, you know, we've got this horse. I think he's going to be special.
Okay, hold on. Was this before he had run it all, or had you?
No, he had run once.
He'd run once in Dundalk. And so he's going, I'm going to send you over the video of his race in Dundalk. And I've always loved closers. Mm-hmm. And he closed like a beast in Dundalk. And I was like, all right, I'm in. Let's go.
Kieran, take Little Red Feather out of the picture for a second. When you were, because this is good for people to know who are newcomers into the ownership game. When you first started kind of doing your research, what did you do? Did you just go on the web and start searching? Did you talk to people?
I talked to people because I know a lot of people around the track. Sure. You guys had started doing some advertising on Santa Anita way back when. So, your name was kind of out there and I was familiar with it. And, we saw some of the other ownership groups pop up and I'd seen them around, but didn't like the structure of it. I like the more intimate partnerships. It may look like there's 900 partners when you see us in the winner's circle, but
that's only because
pretty limited partnerships. There might be 5 or 10 guys.
Yeah, and everybody brings their whole family.
Part. That's the family part, right?
Yeah, so we're all cheering for each other.
I have been in Gold Phoenix winner's circle pictures.
Wait. But I want to hear more about you because I know about your family, you have a beautiful wife and 2 great kids, but I want to know about going back, talking about growing up in Ireland and running your dad's bets and how you really got started in this business.
Oh, I mean, when people say they started at a young age, I mean, my youngest memory and one of my earliest pictures is at the Dundalk Greyhound track, because that's what used to be just the Greyhounds before they brought over the horse track as well. Was my uncle used to race greyhounds, and he won the Irish, the national championship for greyhounds. So here I am walking the dog, Dundalk. But gambling's always. Our vacations in Ireland, we're going around the different tracks around Ireland,
No way.
I mean, if you ever get a chance, probably one of the most unique ones is the Laytown races on the beach in September.
Yes.
So they race it on the actual beach. The tide goes out, and I mean, in Ireland, the tide goes out. It's like 4 miles out. So it's like it's all rock hard, flat surface. They run it, and I think it's early or mid-September.
Yeah, we just saw the pictures of it.
That's insane.
And then, these tracks just pop up all over the place. There's the Bellewstown races, which 9 months out of the year is just, feels. And then they roll in, they have the races for the weekend, and then off it goes to the next one. And we would just travel. Our summer vacations, they're always managed to be a racetrack, even though you can bet in bookies' office. The off-track betting is legal everywhere, and it's usually next to the pub.
What a shock!
We're in the pub.
When did you come to Southern California?
Well, my dad, the economy crashed in the late 80s. My dad was, the boys, are going to go to America. When my mom and dad got married, they actually moved to New York and had my brother and myself. So I was actually born in the States.
Okay.
We lived in the Bronx, and then my dad was like, yeah, this is not the family vibe we wanted. So we all moved back to Ireland. And he was like, when the boys get older, they're going to move out to America anyway. So let's just go out now. And he had to be next to a track. He was sick of the rain. So he's like, California, here we come. So we moved out not too far from Santa Anita. So I used to spend my high school years, going with him to the track on Saturdays and Sundays.
How cool is that?
Yeah. And I mean, even the double, the double show we're doing now, the double was my dad's favorite bet. And this was back in the day when you only had the early double.
Yeah.
You had the black $5 ticket.
Right?
And we would, I mean, we'd go out and he would do his early double, and then we'd stay to like race 3, and then he'd do his late double, and we'd head home, and watch it on TV.
That's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
That's
How
so
cool.
cool. That's so cool. Tell us about that, the new gig, because you started it last summer, and I just realized we're doing this with the Padre game on. I just looked up and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be next.
I'm not a Padre guy. I'm all about soccer and
I was gonna say, what do you watch?
soccer mostly horses now. Actually, I'm a college basketball guy, as Billy knows. So I'm all about that. Our season's going to start up here. San Diego State men's basketball going all the way again this year.
Yeah, that's the prediction. But so how do you? I just completely lost my train of thought with the San Diego State basketball.
You're talking about what his new venture is.
I want to talk about the new gig with this late double, because it kind of caught on at Del Mar, and you and what's our guy's name?
Frank Scatoni. Yeah, we've known each other for years, and we actually got to know each other when he used to do the late double for Santa Anita, and we would chat back and forth on Twitter, and ended up meeting him many, many years ago, and we always hang out at the track, and we always talk smack about our plays. And I was always going, we need a live show where we can bet on it and talk smack about each other's bets. And we kept talking to Chris Bear at Del Mar for years, and he was like, guys, I don't think there's much of a concept of two guys drinking and talking smack about horse race. And I was like, yeah, there will be. And then Santa Anita rolled out that, the late double, and it was very quiet. There wasn't a whole lot of talk about it. But when you saw the handle, the numbers were pretty good for no advertising. So we were like, this is a great bet. We've got all these other shows. People will go on a Tuesday and handicap Saturday's races. And we're like, yeah, that's great. When you get the numbers and you go on, I was like, why don't we do a show where we're actually handicapping live? If we get knocked out, how are we going to recover? And that's usually what happens. We'll start with the pick 3, and one or both of us will get knocked out, and then we're scrambling, we're doing trifectas and whatnot. But it seems to have struck a note with guys. They get to see what we're thinking and go on the fly. But I think it's the best bet now. My handle's probably up for the first time in years because of the low takeout, because it's the only way we have a chance with these. The syndicates are just destroying the value that we see out there, especially in trifectas. And you think you're going to get a huge pay, and you're like, what happened to my pay?
Yeah. Let's
make sure we see what's going on in the double. And
I think make sure we say the betting syndicates, not the racing syndicates. Michelle.
Oh yes, betting. The CRWs or CAW.
I have nothing to do with that. Michelle, give us some.
Do you remember the late double we used to do on TVG, where we highlighted the late double at Hollywood Park?
Oh yeah.
I feel like a good segment of that could have been like two guys boozing.
Yep, it could have been, especially back then.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, so I think we have it's an advantage for the average bettor now, because we can see kind of what they're doing by looking at the pools. And what was amazing is a lot of us who handicap and bet for a living, we've always known that we can see who legit favorites are and aren't by looking at the double pools. Yeah. And it was actually kind of shocking for us when we were doing the show, how many people were going, oh, I never thought about that. I never thought to look at that. So, just that little bit of knowledge, and people are like, wow, tell us more.
Is this on? You guys do this on Twitter, on YouTube? I haven't.
We're on Twitter and YouTube.
I'm working,
Double Trouble
I don't get to watch a bunch of stuff. So it's on Twitter and on YouTube. Do you guys do Spaces on Twitter or?
No, we're just like this. We do a StreamYard, and it streams onto our YouTube channel, and then it also streams live on Twitter. So it's usually on one of our handles. It's usually at Frank's handle. We have that link.
Sure,
we've been trying to get the tracks to push us.
It's Sure Shot. Let me see. I'll pull it up. I know.
I have an important question going.
Or something.
Yeah, I have an important question going back to what you were talking about before. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but you said when you wanted to join a syndicate, forget about Little Red Feather, but any syndicate, you kind of wanted to learn different the other side. I don't want you to. This is not for me. I'm not taking pats on the back, but what have you learned? Just by being around and give us some examples so people
just seeing target races for horses. Like Go Phoenix is a perfect example where, we'd like to win the races in March and April, but that's not really the goal. Is to win the Del Mar Handicap, as it has been for the last 4 years. And I think that first year was the one where it really opened my eyes to how you can plan stuff down. And then I would look at certain races when I was handicapping myself, be like, why did they put this horse in here? I've got to bet it. But now seeing it, I'm like, well, they don't really have to win there, or the horse needs the race, or I'll look at the works and go, oh my goodness, this horse must be really working to have them race right now. So it's those kind of little things. And then seeing the tendencies some trainers have. I mean, there's been an advantage for me with, getting an idea how Phil does certain things with certain horses and things. Before I would have tossed Phil working at a turf horse at Los Al, but we had Arrakis there, and I was like, oh, well, now that makes a lot of sense. And we talked through, like,
and a lot of
them like that all-weather surface if they're going to turf at Del Mar, and people were like, wow, that's great insight, because I usually would toss those kinds of horses. So it's, those little things.
It is. There's so much. Michelle and I have talked about this before. And I think what you said is very smart. And it's that when you are handicapping, excuse me, try to get into the mind of the owner and the trainer and say, okay, they claim this horse for 50 at Del Mar. It's now the end of the year. The horse has just been okay. And they're dropping it for 20. Like, yeah, they're going to lose money, but it's the end of the year. Where else are they going to run? They can't, all those things, it's not just that they're giving up on the horse. They're just saying this is the right spot to run in. And at 4-1, it makes sense in a race that horse might have speed figures or rags or Thurgraph that makes sense in here. Is that kind of also what you're thinking
absolutely. About? And then you'll see that and you'll go, well, this horse cost him $50K. Okay, they're dropping in for 30 and the purse is 50. You know what I mean? I'm like, they're going to win and make money. And then they don't have to spend the money shipping the horse back and doing all this, especially for the ship and win bonus horses that come in. If a lot of these strings come in and they'll ship the horses in, they're hoping they get claimed and they get the bonus money. And, the bus is empty on the way back.
Michelle.
I've got Scatoni's thing here, so I'm going to pull this up.
I was wondering what you were working on.
This.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here is... Look at, he follows me. At Scatoni Sure Shots.
Yep, that's his handle.
Analyst, Del Mar host, the Double Trouble Live on YouTube.
That's it.
And a link to it right there.
Yep.
Oh, good.
So if you are interested, that does not.
So we've been having a lot of fun with it.
Like Frank, I'm looking at that picture right there. That must be an old picture.
No, it's from like 20 years ago, I think.
We can't hide behind our 20-year-old pictures, can we?
Some of us can. Okay, so now I want to. So Gold Phoenix was your first horse. When did he start being good?
The expectation always was. He was really hyped up, and those first two races we had Pratt ride and seconds and seconds. You know what I mean? And that was another thing. Gold doesn't win all the times, but there's always. I think he's only had one or two bad races. Would you say, Billy? There's always been issues with pace, not getting the right pace.
Well, anytime,
it actually gets you used to not winning some of the other races. So
no, I remember this.
At first, we always thought second, and then he was going. Phil just kept saying, and Billy kept saying, Del Mar handicap.
But then he got hurt.
Yeah,
he only raced like twice for us. I can pull up his PPs. And Michelle, I don't know if that's what you're doing.
Yes, I can pull up PPs.
Well, when he first came off the boat, he had that foot issue.
Yeah, he had like a foot issue. I remember though when Pratt rode this horse for the first time and he made that really late move and he came in second. Yeah. And Pratt actually came off and he said, I screwed that up. Yep. He said, I screwed that up. I moved way too late and blah, blah, blah.
But that was an interesting too. When Gold came out here, and I've actually noticed it a lot too. When they bring those Irish horses out here because they want the firmer ground, but sometimes it's too hard. It takes them a little while to get used to it.
So that's true.
And then when you see some of these that jump off the boat, and they're immediately racing.
There's a West Virginia bred named Gold Phoenix?
Yeah, sure, of course. That's the other Gold Phoenix. That's
the other Gold Phoenix.
That doesn't have IRE in apprentice.
Yeah. No, it does not have IRE.
I think he finally won his first race.
28 times.
Yeah.
28
in 7
times,
years.
10 wins.
Yeah.
That is wild.
What was his first race? The first couple of races though, he didn't win, or maybe he ran a second.
He came second the first couple.
Of allowance, and then he won an allowance optional.
What were the dates though? There was a long layoff.
I'm gonna bring this in. Add to stage. Here we go, so you can see. Bigger.
No, but look at the layoff. He ran February 26, 2021, and didn't run again until 2022. He's out for a year.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's another thing that we talk about all the time. And, you said the word patience, Kieran, and I think that's really important in ownership is you have to have patience. If you are doing this, investing in horses, whether you're in a partnership, by yourself, whatever, you have to understand going in that you must have patience. That's like the number one thing, because if you don't, and you start forcing horses to come back early, or you start running in races because you need to pay the mortgage, that is not a good idea. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I learned a lot of patience with Gold, and then even Arrakis, the other one I still have a piece in. We were really patient with him, and he's starting to turn the corner now. So sometimes they just don't do well at certain ages, and then all of a sudden they just come into themselves, grow into themselves.
As a handicapper, though, you must see this, and Michelle, you must know that this trend. If you look at the kind of landscape of our game right now, what are people breeding? They're breeding speed. They want fast. They want horses that can win first time out so they can sell them. They want, the breeder, they want to win that grade 1 early so they basically lock in their stallions, right? So it's very funny. There's a horse, and Kieran, this horse, Innovative, that won the other day. That was actually Michelle,
my horse,
and her husband were the underbidder on Innovative. And when she started to train, she got hurt. I don't remember what it was, something small. And we brought her back, and she's kind of late developing. And in every one of her races, she has improved. And I give credit to Phil D'Amato. We talk about him on the show. And because I even told him, I said,
developing the horse.
Don't be afraid to develop these horses. They're not all going to be superstars the second they step on the track. Though I think we get probably jaded because we see all these Baffert $1 million 2-year-olds that run, 108 and change, and you're just like, wow. But most horses aren't like that. Most horses take time to develop. And I think even as an owner, Kieran, you've now learned that. You're seeing that. I mean, Arrakis is a great example. He's by Bernardini. Probably wasn't even meant to be a 2-year-old, right? But
it's hard to find people that are going to back the like, oh, my horse lost 4 times in a row. He's probably junk. Just get rid of him. And it's like, breathe. Like, they just can't all be like that.
How did he race? How did he finish? What could he do? And then you just look at the next race and go, okay.
Can I go back to Innovative real quick? Because I liked Innovative. I was going to put her on top, and then Jessica Pfeiffer poo-pooed me.
What?
She told me,
that was
Michelle, I don't like that horse on the turn back. I'm like, you don't? I love that horse on the turn back. She goes,
one of the benefits is I always text Billy, and I go, Billy,
I know. I'm not going to listen to Jess
anymore. I mean, he'll be honest. He'll go, needs one. And I actually did text him last week, and I go, they had Innovative and Eiffel in the first race. I was like, so who do you like? And I even said to him, I like Innovative. And even when I was up, in the suite, I was like, I was telling other people, I was like, I really like Innovative. Ricky's riding fantastic. He's got motivation, and I was like, that, and I thought the horse was
baby on the way.
What changed?
Hey, how much? Kieran, this is interesting because you ask me about jockeys all the time, and I hear you talking. I listen when you're behind me in the suite or sitting. Do you put a lot of emphasis on the jockey as far as making a bet?
Yes,
and
I will toss some jockeys if they're on a horse, and
really,
but more times than not, it will pay for me, and I will throw certain jockeys on long shots just because. They'll get the horse across the line. The funny story was up until Saturday, all the horses I've had with Little Red Feather, I've never won with Rispoli. So he was my nemesis over the years. I think I was 0 for like 11. And then, so when we were doing the show, like we did early videos because I was on track, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk it into existence. We're going to be on the double show later today. And Rispoli is going to be the greatest jockey that has ever ridden at Santa Anita, and I said that on the show, and Frank was just laughing because when I don't like a jockey, I am off him for a while till he proves me wrong. And then, sure enough, he ran fantastic. But if there's jockeys are cold, I mean, they're like everyone. They make us, if they're cold, I don't want them, and I'll look at their stats, and certain trainers they do really, really well with, and certain trainers they don't. Or, like JJ comes in and he rides a 10K claimer race. You look at the stats and be like, yeah, that's the phone call. The horse is live. They want no mistakes. They want the jockey who's going to do what he's told, and race the race he's supposed
you
to race.
don't necessarily know that. That's just your assumption.
Yes.
How
That's
about
my
the
assumption.
crazy? How about the crazy stat that we saw? Johnny V and Michael McCarthy 0 for 36.
Yes.
Like the last 2 years.
Wow.
Oh, there's been a lot of those, and certain trainers right now. I mean, some of the trainers that JJ's 0 for 14. I think he's 0 for JJ. I don't think has won on a fill horse. He's 0 for 10 or 11 now, unless it changed this weekend.
Who's your favorite jockey?
Favorite jockey right now? Well, it's got to be Pratt by default.
Well, but he's at Santa Anita that we're playing.
But Rispoli is riding fantastic right now. But I've told you before, my favorite up and coming jockey is Diego Herrera. I think he's got the. Well, we hung out with him. We golfed. He's got the right role models. I see him as a JJ down the road. He's got his head screwed on really good. And Ricky, my word, he's riding fantastic right now too.
Yeah. Riding really well. Michelle, one more question.
Oh, I want to know what your favorite Gold Phoenix win is, or race. You could say race. What made you get the jacket, and what's your favorite race?
The favorite race has to be the first Del Mar handicap. I mean, we were, and I remember when I saw Billy sent out the email, and I read it, and I was like, Pratt's riding, and I'm like, oh my God, it's on now, because we were, that was always the target during the year, and I told all my friends, and they were, Frank when he was doing his live show, he's like, yeah. I think he had you on, Billy. I was like, so I hear the Del Mar handicap's a target. And you're like, where did he hear this from? But it was me telling him. and you texted me back and you go, oh, we just have Pratt by default. And I remember when we were in the winner's circle, and I go, hey, Pratt by default. If you ever get to name a horse, that has to be the name.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
All right,
one last question before we let you go. Again, take out Little Red Feather, but like, as someone who has now been in the ownership, what kind of advice would you give to someone else out there watching the show right now that you know a lot more, to get into the game, to get into the ownership game?
Be patient and make sure you have bankroll on the side, because a lot of people just think when you initially buy in, no, there's bills after that. There's the quarterly, the cash calls, all that. There's the 1-year droughts when you don't win anything and the money keeps going out. So, I mean, whatever you set aside to buy the horse, make sure you got that same amount out there,
That's great. That's a great.
Don't buy too many at once. Gold being my first one. And then when he started winning, I started going crazy and buying pieces of this one and that one. I think keeping it manageable earlier and then just be patient. It's fun though. Especially when we get to travel. I mean, we've gone all over the place. Kentucky to have horses racing there. Yeah. Hopefully Hong Kong. What do you think after we win that?
I have no idea.
Breeders' Cup?
I'm not. We're going to take it one race at a time.
I'm going. I need to go.
You're going?
Yes, I want to go. If Gold Phoenix goes, I'm going.
I don't know.
Well, that's always been a bucket list growing up. Happy Valley. The Hong Kong racing's pretty big over in Europe. So we grew up watching all those races, and the Australian races. And we don't get to see a lot of that here just because of the time difference, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work and with the show and the handicapping. And I know, speaking from Little Red Feather standpoint, we appreciate having you in the partnership, having you in our family, and it's always fun when you and the family are out there. So thank you very much
for having me on, guys.
Time with us today.
Hey, just so you know, you are Billy never has Little Red Feather partners on the show
ever.
Yes, but you made the exception.
Michelle said to me, she goes, I want to bring someone on who owns Gold Phoenix. And I was like, all right, Kieran. He loves him more than anybody else, I think.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a good. We'll see you down in Del Mar.
Okay. See you then. Bye.
Thanks, Kieran.
Kieran Thornton here on the owner's box. Michelle, you got your wish. You got someone to talk about.
You know what I need now? I need my old school Gold Phoenix hat, because I told you mine got stolen. What? I need another one. The navy one with the gold horse that says GFP.
Yes. I don't know if I have to go look in my closet.
I need another one, because now
I'll give you a new. We got a new one.
I like that one. It had gold sparkly shit on it.
Sparkly. She likes
sparkly gold. If it's navy and sparkly gold.
I feel like this is the Gold Phoenix show. Are there any other winners this other than Rebels Romance? Let's talk about some of the Santa Anita races really quick. Do you have to go?
No.
You got like 5 minutes?
Okay, so we have.
Wait, go ahead. You start.
No, go ahead.
That Breeders' Cup Sprint Championship, whatever.
That's what I was gonna start with.
Pardon me, but that fucking horse of JJ's, of Baffert's imagination, who I've never really
Who Billy
liked.
picked, by the way. Billy
I
picked
picked.
this horse. He came to the set and was like, I like imagination. And I was like, really?
Yeah, Michelle was like, "What are you, dumb?" I think that's what you said. "What are you, dumb?" to me. I was like, "I just watch." I even told Quigley on my way out. I said, "I think the 8's the horse here." I mean, he's a big, strong, beautiful horse, and Baffert wouldn't have run him there if he didn't think he has a chance.
Last minute decision. Last minute decision.
And when he was like 13 wide turning for home, I'm like, what is JJ doing? And then all of a sudden, without even like a shake of the reins, like he just rolled past everybody. I was not a straight no chaser fan. Sorry for all you my racehorse people. I did not. I thought he would need one, and he did. I was right about that. I liked the Glatt, Dr. Venkman. But I really liked Imagination, and I thought he was awesome. Like, I don't know if he can repeat that performance.
Yeah, is he going to win the Breeders' Cup? Now, Bookham Dano is not running in the Breeders' Cup. So...
Yeah, the sprint is not that great. I mean, it's not. There's no elite powers. There's no, who other great spinners did we add recently? I don't know. I just came up with elite power off the top of my head.
That was really good. Better than I can do.
I just don't think it's a division that has a superstar that can't necessarily be
Bookham Dano is our superstar, and
he's not running.
So, yeah. I mean,
so why not Imagination? If he draws outside and doesn't care about losing ground and can basically just run, 108 and change, he might win.
Now I have a question. If he does win, who is Eclipse Award champion? Does Bookham Dano still get it on his body of work?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just wondering.
Yeah.
We also had the Phillies race. Cavalieri was very impressive.
After a terrible start, ends up beating Ricci, who had I talked to Fresu the other day, and I said, at the half-mile pole, were you confident? He goes, yeah, I slowed it down. I was like, I had it. And then this Cavalieri, I mean, she is undefeated. Again, she's Baffert. Is she as good as Torpedo Anna? Maybe. Could be.
I mean, she's so lightly raced, right? So it's hard to tell how good she can be, and she's raced out here. Whereas Anna has kind of gone all around. Not without a couple of faults, but she's gone all around and run her race multiple times. So
I need to see the numbers.
Like her.
I need to see the numbers. I think that race is going to be interesting, though. And obviously, with Brian Hernandez getting hurt, all of our best wishes to the Hernandez family. But Flavian Pratt takes over on Torpedo Anna. So that'll be interesting as well. Go ahead, Michelle. Other races.
Well, Mr.
Johannes.
Yeah, Johannes.
He was very impressive.
How good was Johannes?
Only his second start of the year. And everybody's going to complain about Southern California. They're going to say, who'd he beat? He beat Almendares, who has run very well at Del Mar this summer. Beat Cabo Spirit, who's been running very good, but not much else. And they're going to pick apart
Johannes. Miler on the East Coast?
What's that?
Can you name a good miler on the East Coast?
Yeah, the Charlie Appleby, the notable speech, who won the race.
I feel like that's a Euro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the Euros are probably going to dominate this race. It's going to be the Euros against Johannes, who will probably be, I don't know, I'm going to guess he's in that 5.
Speech run behind Johannes in the
last year he did. Yeah. Last year he did. We're losing a lot of these horses to the breeding shed and to retirement, and they're older horses. So we're gonna have to see who the Euros bring out before you can even start talking Breeders' Cup, I think.
Then we had the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic, where we talked about Rebels Romance, and we had the Woodward, which had 3 horses in it.
3 horses.
We get annihilated in California if we have 4 or 5, but I mean, 3 horses. They were good. They were good 3 horses. Right?
Well,
you had 3 good horses in there.
One of the things that has to happen in our game is we have to all try to work together. And it starts possibly with myself, with the graded stakes committee that I'm on, to make sure that there's just too many options for these types of horses on the same weekends and on the same day in all categories. And that it's really hurting our field size. It's hurting the gamblers, the handicappers, the players.
If it was a grade 3, would it have drawn more horses?
What was it? I think
I don't know. It's a grade 2 or a grade 1, right? Let's see.
No, I think
it's a grade 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if it's the grading system. It's
just
more,
option of so many.
I believe, and I've said this before, in some type of pattern, where, you know, you don't have as many of these like you had the Goodwood and the race in New York on the same day, right? Or on the same weekend. Like, yeah, okay, there's 2, but then there's 3 more that all these other horses were entered in. One was in Ohio or wherever it was. I'm just making that up. So you don't get this concentration of horses in one area. Plus, you know, horses aren't lasting as long. You know, I mean, it's just a part of unfortunately, part of our world. I'm knocking on wood as I say it, but
So
I know
many
for
people
us,
want to train up to.
yeah, look at the Breeders' Cup. The Breeders' Cup prep races like that last weekend and this weekend used to be awesome. Used to be huge because everyone wanted that one race before the Breeders' Cup. Now you look at horses like Sovereignty didn't run. You look at Journalism didn't run. You look at, like, they're all training up. They all want to be fresh. I think another thing is the advent of the sheets, whether it's Rags and Thurgraph. A lot of people look at these sheets and they say, I'm better with 8 weeks from this particular number than I am trying to come back and run again here on 4 weeks, because then I'm going to bounce and I've run too many times and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I've run 3 whole times this year. It's terrible.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Our game is suffering.
In addition to having the Woodward and the Goodwood, there was also the Lucas Classic this weekend, which was won by Mystic Dan.
Yeah.
So you had 3 mile and an eighth graded stakes for males the same weekend.
Right. And there's just not that many horses to go around. So
congratulations to Mystic Dan, though. We don't normally see a Kentucky Derby winner come back and be a good racehorse, right?
I was a Mystic Dan fan on Derby Day. You know, I had a huge weekend that weekend with Mystic and Torpedo Anna. Then I went like this on Mystic Dan. Go away. I just didn't really like him that much. And now I kind of like him. I kind of like him again. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like him in the Breeders' Cup. Where would you run him in the Breeders' Cup?
Dirt mile.
I agree. I'd run him in the dirt mile.
Classic is going to be so loaded. Yeah. He's kind of like made his name like running in these smaller races. The dirt mile is now, he'll have to run to Full Serrano, but I do feel like the dirt mile is the better spot for him.
And maybe Dr. Vingman from out here.
Oh yeah, they're gonna run him a mile.
Black goes that way. They were saying they didn't know where they're gonna run him. So
really.
Anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Michelle, thanks for everything. We'll see you this weekend at San Antonio. Anything cooking?
Yes. Give me 2 seconds. I was supposed to be pulling that up and I got so sidetracked. Give me 2 seconds to pull up.
Let me say thank you to Kieran Thornton for joining us today. Make sure you watch his Daily Double YouTube Twitter show on the Frank Scattoni Twitter handle that Michelle showed earlier, and I'm sure we'll put in our little log line of our show today.
Okay, so coming up this weekend at Santa Anita on
two-year-olds.
Well, yeah, stakes racing. We have 2-year-olds. Yeah. I was looking at events. So what we've got the Chandelier. Is that what it's called?
Sponsor us anymore? Why do we need to talk to them?
Do they not?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We need to ask James. But we sponsor them because you know what? They sponsor me. So we definitely are going to talk about them. So coming up, good racing. It's going to be 2-year-olds on the grass, 2-year-olds on the main. We've got another win and you're in weekend for the Breeders' Cup. So we should have good horses coming out.
That's it. What about how many will Baffert win? He's won like 9 out of 10 Breeders' Cup races or graded stakes in the last 3 weeks.
I mean, he's also won like every single 2-year-old race at Del Mar. So
I mean, we're going to get a chance to see Christopherson again. I really like the way he won. You have Plutarch. You have we have the horse that beat Plutarch, the Mullins.
I'll tell you what, the Speakeasy looks really good.
That's going to be a fun race. We're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later than planned.
That's going to be a good race.
And South Bay in the back in the Surfer Girl.
Very good.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
See ya. Take a shower.
Bye. I know.